Steven Spielberg's Oscar-winning movie with Daniel Day-Lewis had wild set rules, but it paid off. The cast and crew of Steven Spielberg's Lincoln rose to the occasion with stringent demands for historical accuracy from the lead actor, with plenty of accolades at the end of the day to show for their hard work. Starring the legendary Daniel Day-Lewis in the title role, Lincoln depicts President Abraham Lincoln's efforts to pass the 13th Amendment in the final days of the U.S. Civil War. Day-Lewis was not the only actor to be recognized for Lincoln, with both Sally Field and Tommy Lee Jones also being nominated for Oscars for their performances. It is hardly a surprise that Day-Lewis would go on to become one of the best actors to portray a U.S. president, or that Spielberg's historical epic achieved such success, given the history of both Hollywood icons' careers. Famously, Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan's D-Day invasion sequence is one of the most praised, historically accurate on-screen battles of all time. However, where Lincoln is concerned, Day-Lewis seemingly took control of the production, which resulted in a textured, realistic environment that the audience can certainly feel. Steven Spielberg had strict set rules for authenticity for filming 2012's Lincoln. Tim Blake Nelson, who plays New York Representative Richard Schell in Lincoln, detailed the experience of working on a completely historically accurate set for The Hollywood Reporter, largely at the prerogative of Day-Lewis but enforced by Spielberg. Day-Lewis is famous for his method acting, involving staying in character at all times, even when the cameras are not rolling. In the case of Lincoln, this also meant any modern items being banned from the set. According to Nelson, then working with Daniel Day-Lewis on Lincoln was another extreme, and how he was able to commit not only himself, but the entire production to a work ethic and to aesthetic principles in terms of the process that just heightened not only what he was up to, but what everyone around him was up to as well. Just the fact that on Lincoln, nobody was allowed to wear t-shirts with logos on them. There were never any anachronisms on set. You couldn't have a paper coffee cup. You had to have something that was made of materials that would have been available in the late 19th century. So no shorts, no sneakers. Steven Spielberg wore a blazer every day to direct, and a button-down shirt. No iPhones, did I mention that? It just brought everything up a level. And then, of course, all the stuff everyone knows about him. That he stays in character, that he could only be addressed as Lincoln. And that he accomplished this in a way that somehow didn't annoy anyone. It certainly didn't annoy me. And it made the set a more disciplined place in a really good way, which I think shows in the film. How Steven Spielberg's Lincoln became an acclaimed success. Of course, the set rules for Lincoln, described by Nelson, contributed to its astounding success, making for another great historical epic to join the ranks of Steven Spielberg's best movies. Lincoln made $275 million at the box office on a budget of $65 million and still holds a score of 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. The movie was also one of the biggest titles at the Oscars in 2013, with 12 nominations and 2 wins. Lincoln's 2 wins, for Best Lead Actor and Best Production Design, are the ones that are the most tied up with the accuracy rules of the set. The demands of Day-Lewis method acting have proven difficult for some who have worked with him, but Lincoln was his 3rd Oscar win out of a total of 6 nominations in his career. Meanwhile, the realism of the setting is tangible when every actor is immersed in the period. The kind of dedication that went into Lincoln is rare, but tends to pay off when the cast and crew commit to it.